Good morning and thanks for joining us on the RTV6 Facebook page for our special report of National School Walkout Day. Today's protest by students to push lawmakers to pass legislation that helps keep them safe in schools. All of this after the deadly shooting on Valentine's Day at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. And here was a live picture from that Florida high school this morning. That protest and those going on right now in Indiana started just moments ago at 10 o'clock. They'll continue to start at 10 local times as the sun moves west. All will last 17 minutes, 1 minute for each of the 17 students and faculty members shot and killed in the Florida school. RTV6 has full team coverage of the protests going on right now in central Indiana. We start with RTV6's Nicole Griffin, who is live at Brebeuf High School. Good morning, Nicole.
Meredith, good morning. Well, just minutes ago, students filed out of Brebeuf High School, and I want you to take a look at just how big this crowd is here this morning. Around 800 students go here to the high school, and you can see hundreds and hundreds are standing outside right now. And what this school is doing is a bit unique for National Walkout Day. They are actually having speakers from several different groups here at the school speak to these children out here today. They are telling them their views, what they hope to see change after yet another mass school shooting here. You can see some students have signs out here in the crowd. Some of the student groups speaking are the Black Student Union, the Young Democrats, even a social justice group. We talked to some students before this event started here today, and they said they should not have to feel unsafe at their school. So they are hoping that today will help bring about conversation and bring about change eventually. You can see hundreds and hundreds of students are standing out here outside today. And what's interesting about what's happening here at Brebeuf is the school administrators are very supportive of what these students are doing out here today. They have helped them organize this. They are out here for 17 minutes and hoping that each speaker will be able to speak during that 17 minutes of time. But we will be talking to students here shortly about what they are feeling, what they are seeing, and what they hope to accomplish out here. But let's go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio now.
Nicole, thank you very much. We now go to RTV6's Derek Thomas, who joins us live from Heron High School. Derek, good morning.
Hello, Meredith. We are outside Heron High School on the south lawn at that school. School officials tell me that 800 students decided that they wanted to participate in this protest. Moments ago, they were all chanting, "Not one more, not one more." They don't want any more school shootings around this country. Now, 17 students are in the middle of that circle that they formed on the south side of this campus this morning, and each one of those students will speak for 1 minute for the 17 lives lost in Parkland. I talked to Eugenia King last month. She's the senior class president, and she told me that she turns 18 in May, and she wants to vote. And she says when she does vote for the first time, she will make that vote choosing a candidate that wants to make some change so that students can be safe in their schools. And if that means more changes in gun laws, so be it. That's the scene here right now. Meredith?
Derek, thank you very much. We now go to RTV6's Katie Hines, who is live at Shortridge High School. Katie, it looks like students there have taken to the track and are carrying some signs.
Yeah, there are quite a few out here, several dozen, and still more streaming outside from Shortridge High School. They are walking the track right now in solidarity, some linking arms, other carrying signs, discussing why they are doing this, showing why this morning. This is one of several student-led demonstrations within IPS. IPS supportive of this at several of the high schools, also some middle schools today, offering a safe place to demonstrate. Also supervision, and you can see here at Shortridge High School, it is on the track near the football field. Now, students walking out right now, they will stand in silence for 17 minutes in remembrance of each one of those people who lost their lives in the Parkland, Florida high school shooting. And we can tell you, one of the things that these students students in particular have researched is the state of Indiana's gun laws. They've been doing a lot of work to find out what those are, where the status is. Interestingly enough, today is the last day of the legislative session, and one of the topics we do expect state lawmakers to go over is school safety, also potential gun legislation. You know, one of the things that they're talking about is appropriating an additional $5 million to the Department of Homeland Security. That department hands out grants. They give grants to schools like this one for school resource officers, for more improvements to the buildings. Say you've got doors that would prevent someone from getting inside, access. So they're going to be discussing a lot of those factors today. These students will be watching, but we're going to be talking to a few of them here in just a few minutes about what they want Indiana state lawmakers to know today as they are out here making a public demonstration. Back to you, Meredith.
Katie, thank you very much. Some protests did happen earlier this morning. RTV6's Aaron Lish joins us from IPS CFI 84 with what happened there. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. I would say about 30 minutes ago they had that walkout with at least 150 students, and they stood actually right here. And the thing that they did was they stood there for 17 minutes. Each minute represented each of those victims. I was talking to the students that put this all together. They said it took at least a week and a half to get everything figured out and ready to go. Now, a big thing I asked them is what did they really want to get across with this? And she said, well, at least one of the students said that, you know, they don't want anybody to take something for granted. They want people to feel safe in school. They're in school 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. They said that they want to continue this going forward, showing support to one another. I asked, you know, this didn't happen in Indiana. It happened in Florida. Why to help them do this? She said, it doesn't matter where you are. We're all students. I'll have a little bit more coming up, but for now I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Aaron, thank you very much. And instead of a walkout at Beech Grove High School, students there are planning a walk-in. Students working with school administrators and police to create the event. They will honor the 17 people who lost their lives in Florida last month and talk about how they can make changes. That includes how students can work with the government to make schools safer. That walk-in set to start at 1:45 this afternoon. Now we want to go back to Florida now and take a live look at the picture there. This is just one of more than 2,500 walkouts across the nation happening throughout the day. Now, what some of these students are demanding are assault weapons to be banned. They want to require universal background checks before guns are sold. They want to pass a restraining order law that would let courts disarm people who display warning signs of violent behavior. Those laws are called red flag laws. Indiana is one of 5 states with them. Now, this law lets family members, guardians, or police ask judges to temporarily strip gun rights. Supporters say it helps keep people with mental health problems away from guns, but critics say those laws infringe on gun rights. Now, up next, March for Our Lives march planned in Washington, D.C. That is happening later this month. There are also satellite marches planned in the U.S. and overseas. They have the same goals as today's protests, calling for tougher gun laws. They're expected to have hundreds of thousands of people in D.C. One march is set for Indianapolis at Monument Circle. That is taking place on March 24th. Also happening right now, we are looking at Capitol Hill. Lawmakers there investigating how last month's deadly shooting in Parkland, Florida could have happened. This is a look at the Senate Judiciary Committee. They're asking federal leaders about law enforcement's failure to act on numerous tips about the suspected gunman. The FBI reportedly did receive a call on its public tip line in January about the suspect's gun collection and erratic behavior, but agents never investigated that tip, and the call was never reported to the Bureau's Miami office. The FBI was also looking into a disturbing YouTube comment made by someone with the suspect's name last year, but they couldn't determine who made that comment. Now, we are about 10 minutes into these marches. We're going to go back out to Nicole Griffin, who is at Brebeuf High School. Nicole, what are those students doing there right now?
Well, Lauren, good morning. Students are still gathering around a crowd listening to speakers right now, but we are joined by a junior here at Brebeuf High School. This is Elizabeth Grout. And Elizabeth, you were just standing in the second row minutes ago. How is the the walkout going so far, and what messages are you hearing here today?
I think the walkout is going exactly how we planned it. I have never been more proud of my fellow classmates. Everyone is speaking their beliefs, and we have come to a common ground of school safety, and I'm just so proud to attend a school that encouraged us to have political activism and to speak to crowds like this. It's just amazing. I'm so proud.
And I know you were a part of the planning for today. Tell me about that planning and the preparation for this event.
Yes, I'm a member of Young Democrats Club, and although my views are very democratic, this was a bipartisan event that we planned with Young Democrats, Young Republicans, GSA, BSU, and Social Justice. Everyone came together to look for a common ground, and I do believe we found that. I'm so happy that we found the common ground.
And I know we were talking earlier about it may take a while for change to happen, but what do you hope comes out of today as a starting point?
I just hope that all of my fellow classmates are encouraged to vote for politicians that support their beliefs and can understand their beliefs and relate to them, because I do think if more teens like me vote, we will change the world.
And you guys did something pretty unique here. We were showing pictures on our morning show, Good Morning Indiana. You guys created a memorial. Tell me about that memorial.
Yes, a few students created a memorial in our chapel that had pictures of victims of mass shootings in schools, like organized in numbers, and I saw the Sandy Hook victims and I wanted to cry. It was very emotional, and music was playing in the background, and just seeing their faces of the fallen victims just is so emotional. And I think it's very needed that we see those fallen victims. It humanizes them, which is what we need in today's society.
And to see so many of your classmates taking part out here today, I asked you before we came out, how many do you think are going to come out? How many do you think are out here, and what's your reaction?
I think this is the whole school, and I am so happy. This is the best school in Indianapolis, in Indiana, because this is what we encourage our students to do. We are politically active, we have a voice, and we are proud to represent our community. And I am just so happy that this is the reaction that we're receiving. And our student body is amazing, and I couldn't have asked for a better reaction to this march.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day. Again, this is at Rebuff High School, where you can see the students are still out here this morning. They are marching around, and we actually have another student joining us live this morning. You were part of this, putting this all together. What's your reaction to the event here today?
It's unbelievable, the amount of students, teachers, faculty, parents who have come out in support. We started this effort a few weeks ago, working alongside the Parkland shooting victims out in Florida, and we were inspired by them, and we came together and said we want to help enact change within Indiana and hopefully the nation and the world. And the Rebuff administration got right behind us. It's truly amazing how they support us to be young leaders and advocates for social justice and change. And I couldn't be more grateful for what's going on.
And they're yelling right now. What are they yelling?
We want change because, well, that's what we want.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Again, you can now see those Rebuff High School students marching up a hill out here by the practice soccer field. This is part of National Walkout Day. You heard it just minutes ago from one student. 800 students come here to this school, and you can see a large group of them are outside here right now chanting that we want change. Now let's go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
Nicole, thank you very much. We want change. That is what students at Heron High School also want. We are going to take a live look here from Skycam 6. You can see all those students gathered on the front lawn of that high school in a large circle. Now, there are some trees somewhat obstructing the view, but there are 17 students standing inside that circle to represent the 17 victims of the Parkland school shooting. Our Derek Thomas is there right now, live from the ground. He joins us live with what they're doing right now, 14 minutes into this protest.
Meredith, we are still on the south lawn of Heron High School. In the middle of the semicircle, as you indicated, there are students standing there. Some of them have photographs of some of the people who lost their lives in that Parkland shooting. A young woman has a megaphone, and it's difficult to hear what she is saying because there's also chanting of some students just to the east of us, of the school, talking about never again, never again. They don't want another shooting to claim another student's or teacher's life. It is a spirited group that have that has formed here, and again, they want to make sure that there is not one more. Meredith?
Derek, thank you. A very powerful demonstration happening there. Katie Hines is at Shortridge High School this morning, where students are continuing to walk around the track there. Katie, what is the mood like there?
Meredith, complete silence here. We have dozens of students who are walking around the track right now, have been for several minutes now, some linking arms, walking around in complete silence. They're making a public demonstration here, holding signs that say, "I am here," raising awareness for gun violence, for more mental health services. And joining us right now is one of the parents, Jody Winter. Your daughter is out here among the crowd. You wanted to join her. Why are you here?
Because she wanted to be here and because I send her to school every day and I want to know that she's safe. After the Parkland shootings, her words were terrified. She was scared to come to school the next day, and I want an end to that for every student in our country.
What can be done? I understand that many of these students, your daughter included, researched a lot of the gun laws that are out there. What message do you hope that lawmakers take away from this today? What do you want them to do?
I want them to talk. I want them to come to a conclusion that their rights are not more important than our lives, and we need to compromise. We're not out here to say no one should bear a gun, but we are out here to say, let's talk and be reasonable about how easy it is to do that.
Jody, thank you for joining us. You can see this will still be going on here for a few more minutes, but students walking in silence at Shortridge High School. This high school, one of several within IPS that has students participating today. IPS providing supervision and a safe place for students at a number of high schools, also a few middle schools, to show and make a demonstration today to take part in this process. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Katie, thank you very much. From Maine to Hawaii, students across the nation making their voices heard today. This is a live look in New York City. Governor Andrew Cuomo there in that crowd. These are students asking for change there. And we want to take a look in Washington, D.C. This is a look in front of the White House. Protesters out there. We just had some camera movement there, so hopefully we can get that back so you can see the crowds out there asking for change in front of the White House. And finally, one final look in Florida. Take a look at this. I don't know if this doesn't tell you what these students want. I don't know what does. All these students gathering to show how much they want new gun laws. More than 2,500 walkouts planned among students across our nation. They are asking for the ban of assault weapons. They want universal background checks required before guns are sold. They want to pass a restraining order law that would let courts disarm people who display warning signs of violent behavior. And those laws are called red flag laws. Indiana is only one of 5 states with red flag laws. That lets family members, guardians, or police ask judges to temporarily strip gun rights. Supporters say it helps keep people with mental health problems away from guns. Critics say those laws infringe on gun rights. So what happens after today? There is a March for Our Lives planned in Washington, D.C. and across the U.S. and even overseas on March 24th. They have the same goals as today's protests. They want to call for tougher gun laws. And you can expect to see hundreds of thousands of people in Washington, D.C. on that day. One march is also set for here in Indianapolis at Monument Circle. And continuing here at home, we want to go see Nicole Griffin one more time at Brebeuf High School. Nicole, you are there with a student. What does he have to say?
Yeah, Meredith, good morning. Well, that national walkout event just ended minutes ago and students filed back in the high school, but hundreds were out here. And one of those students, Max Siegel, joining me now live. Tell me, what was your reaction after that? You guys were marching along, chanting, "We want change." What's your reaction?
I'm really inspired. I'm really driven to go out. I'm already registered to vote. I'm going to be voting, paying more attention to the news. This is just a really huge issue, and this is a great platform for us to start, and we're not done. This just inspired me to keep the momentum going.
To see so many of your classmates marching alongside you out here today, chanting "We want change," and being a part of this day, what does that mean to you?
I feel like for me, this is the first this is the first step for all of us to come together. We had many different people, many different backgrounds and ideologies out here, but we were all able to come together, and we have all reached a form of compromise inside the school building. And we feel like today is a good showing of compromise and how people of different parties can come together.
Max, thank you for your time. We have one other student standing by live this morning. Anna, you just took part in this rally, this event out here today. What's your reaction?
Well, like Max said, I think it's really important that we all came out to support. It's obviously a really important and pressing issue. I think it can really be hard for us as teenagers to stay connected to things, but this is something that affects all of us. You know, we all go to school, and none of us want to live in this constant fear of being attacked, and there's no perfect solution to this. You know, all of us here, we've proposed different solutions and ideas, but at the end of the day, we just have to try new things, and we have to be able to make a change. And I'm so proud and grateful to be part of a school that's willing to allow us to organize such events and to be part of events, and that really supports change and growth within ourselves. So I'm just really glad that we got to do this today and that so many kids came out to support.
And just listening to the speakers out here today, and I know change is not going to happen in one day, but what change do you guys hope to see?
Well, we hope to see that our representatives listen to our voices and that they actually, you know, do something. A lot of the times, because of money, they're willing to kind of let the people's ideas and thoughts go to the side and just go towards the money. But it's really important that they actually listen to us and they listen to our thoughts and our needs. And like we said in our speeches, we want support of the Manchin-Toomey bill and repealing of the Dickey Amendment and different things like that, so we can have, you know, more restriction so not everybody is able to attain guns, and so we can just have a safer environment and a safer world.
Anna, thank you so much for talking with us. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Again, 17 minutes, hundreds of students filed out of Brebeuf Preparatory School out here today. Just a strong showing. They were marching along, chanting, "We want change." Hundreds and hundreds of students were involved, so a very strong showing out here at Brebeuf High School. But now let's go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
Nicole, thank you very much. And that chanting, "We want change," extremely powerful at Brebeuf. Meanwhile, at Shortridge High School, the silence just as powerful, Katie.
Absolutely. And you know what? A lot of the students are headed back in right now, Meredith, but a lot of them were out here, several hundred for the last 17 minutes, walking around this track outside with signs, some linking arms saying that I am here because I want to send a message of I support more services for mental health. And we have one of these students who was heavily involved in this process joining us right now, Madeline Anderson. Madeline, who are you here for today?
I'm here for the victims of school shootings because school shootings should not happen.
What message do you want to send the public with your show today?
I want to show the public that we aren't able to vote. We don't necessarily have a voice yet, but we are going to have a voice, and our generation's not going to stand down. We want to see change, and we don't want our lives to be taken senselessly.
How do you feel about all of your peers who joined you here today?
It's amazing to see all the camaraderie and how much everybody cares about everybody. It's a great show of unity for both our school and for the community and country in general.
Thank you. And the final students headed back into Shortridge High School now at this hour. A lot of them, though, out here to participate today. Meredith, back to you.
Katie, thank you very much. And finally, we want to go back to Derek Thomas one more time. He is live outside of Heron High School. Derek, it looks as though those students have gone back into the school this morning. A very powerful demonstration by them as well.
Meredith, the protest is over, but we have some students out here we're going to talk to. Eugenia King is the senior class president here at Heron. Who are you talking to today, and do you think your message has been heard?
We are talking to the lawmakers, Indiana lawmakers, federal lawmakers. We think we are being heard. With this movement being as big as it is, and as many children are participating in this movement, we are being heard, and our voice is loud.
What do you want them to do, these lawmakers who are listening? What do you want them to do?
I want them to make it so I can feel safe in school, so that I can go to school every day and not worry about, oh, am I going to get hurt today? Is someone going to come in and hurt me? I want to be able to focus on just my education. That's what I go to school for.
You told me last month that you're going to turn 18 in May. When you vote, who are you going to be voting for? What programs, what platforms do you want them to respond to?
I want politicians who are listening to us. I want people who have taken into account how many children are participating in this Make Us Heard movement, this Enough is Enough movement. I want them to know that we're here and that we know what's going on.
And do you specifically want them to address guns? How do you want them to act?
I want them to address guns, not just tiptoe around it, to take it right as it's coming to them and then do with that. Know that we're here, know that what we want is what we want.
Thank you very much. Good job today. So the students have spoken. We'll see if they really will be heard. Meredith?
Derek, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us this morning for RTV6's special report about the National Student Walkout Day. Our coverage continues on RTV6 News at noon. We hope to see you then.